In the 2016 Western Conference Finals, the Thunder blew a 3-1 lead to the 73-9 Warriors. Golden State advanced to the NBA Finals but would go on to lose after blowing their own 3-1 lead to LeBron and the Cavaliers. That loss pushed Kevin Durant to leave OKC and form a super team with the Warriors in what many fans call the weakest move in NBA history.
Well, I'm viewing it as the weakest move I've ever seen from a superstar. Plain and simple.
Rip it, trash, trash, trash. It's all trash. You're all trash. You're all trash.
The Thunder dynasty was over before it even began. Or at least, that's what everyone thought. Before KD left, OKC made the move to convince him to stay. They traded Serge Ibaka to the Orlando Magic for Victor Oladipo, Domantas Sabonis, and Ersan Ilyasova, who was later flipped for Jeremy Grant. On the surface, it only seemed that the Thunder got younger, deeper, and added more scoring around Westbrook. But nobody realized that this trade would suddenly change the future of the NBA. The Thunder were still competitive, and Westbrook responded with one of the greatest individual seasons ever. He averaged a 30-point triple-double, and he went on to win MVP as the 6th seed. But even that wasn't enough, as the Thunder lost in the first round. While all of this was happening, there was a disgruntled superstar in the East who wanted out. Indiana's homegrown star, Paul George, reportedly grew frustrated with the Pacers' organization and their inability to build a true contender around him. After years of deep playoff runs against LeBron's Heat, the Pacers were now falling apart. To make things worse, PG was entering the final year of his contract and made it clear he wanted to play in his hometown of LA. Around the league, many teams viewed trading for him as a risky one-year rental. Most people expected him to eventually land with the Lakers. But before that could happen, OKC shocked the entire league. In the 2017 offseason, the Thunder traded Victor Oladipo and Domantas Sabonis to Indiana for PG. At the time, this looked like a steal. The Thunder suddenly had a new superstar next to Russell Westbrook. And despite all the concerns about him leaving for LA, OKC managed to convince Paul George to stay, and they were able to re-sign him on a 4-year max deal. But sadly, it never resulted in a competitive playoff run. Then in the summer of 2019, Kawhi Leonard had just won an NBA championship, but instead of staying in Toronto, he wanted to return home to LA. The Clippers saw an opportunity and made their pitch to Kawhi. But there was one condition. He wanted another superstar to come with him before he signed. And according to reports, he had someone specific in mind: Paul George. Suddenly, OKC had all the leverage because the Clippers were effectively trading for Paul George and Kawhi Leonard. And since the Clippers wanted both, the Thunder could name their price. For a Thunder team coming off multiple disappointing playoff exits, the Clippers' offer was simply too good to ignore.
Essentially a record collection of draft picks, 4 unprotected future first-round picks, a protected future first-round pick, 2 pick swaps, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Danilo Gallinari for Paul George.
And one of those picks would eventually become Jalen Williams. The deal was done. With Kawhi and Paul George, the Clippers instantly became championship contenders. Meanwhile, OKC began a rebuild centered around SGA. But over the next few years, something unexpected happened. Shai became a 2-time MVP, Jalen Williams emerged as an all-star, and OKC kept adding talent through the draft. The same franchise that started over had built another contender within a few years. In fact, the Thunder are now viewed by many as the team most likely to dominate the NBA over the next decade. And that's the first reason this trade broke the league. But the Thunder becoming a powerhouse wasn't the biggest consequence. The real impact was felt across the entire NBA. Because after OKC received SGA and 7 first-round picks for PG, every front office suddenly had a new benchmark. The price of a superstar had changed. Before this trade, teams didn't give up this much draft capital. When the Celtics traded for Kevin Garnett, they only gave up 2 first-round picks. When the Lakers acquired Pau Gasol, they gave up 2 first-round picks as well. And when the Heat traded for Shaquille O'Neal, they gave up just 1 first-round pick. These were franchise-changing moves that helped deliver championships. But after the Paul George trade, everything changed. It started with the Minnesota Timberwolves, who gave up 5 first-round picks for Rudy Gobert. Then it escalated again. Mikal Bridges to New York, another 5 first-round picks. And then it kept going. Desmond Bane to Orlando, 4 more first-round picks. What used to be franchise-altering trades had become the new standard. But the biggest consequence wasn't just picks changing hands, it was the risk. Before, teams could trade for a superstar and still have enough assets left to recover if things went wrong. Now, one failed gamble can set a franchise back for years. Just look at the Phoenix Suns. In an effort to build a contender around Devin Booker, they traded 4 first-round picks, 1 pick swap, and 2 second-round picks for KD. Then, they doubled down. To acquire Bradley Beal, they gave up 4 first-round pick swaps and 6 second-round picks. In a hypothetical planet, the Suns had assembled a super team. In reality though, the experiment failed. They eventually had to move on from Durant and were ultimately forced to buy out Beal's contract. Because of the NBA's stretch provision, the buyout will continue to impact the Suns' salary cap for years. They sacrificed draft capital and cap flexibility. Now, they're paying the price long after those trades were made. That's the danger of the modern superstar trade. The NBA is in an era of pick inflation and it's still shaping trades today. Take Giannis Antetokounmpo. Every trade rumor starts with a massive package of picks and young players, because every front office is chasing the same type of return OKC got for Paul George. That's what makes trading for a superstar so difficult in today's NBA. Giannis is holding up the entire trade market, and teams are just waiting to react. And this all started with a trade that nobody even remembers. Serge Ibaka for Victor Oladipo and Domantas Sabonis. A decision that set off a chain reaction the NBA didn't see coming, and from that moment on, it had already changed the NBA forever.